So we're here at the hospital. I'm feeling pain in my legs. I've never been in pain like this before. The doctor was like, you're withering away. Jazzy, you all right, mama? My legs hurt so bad. Nish, I know you're irritated. We're here to have a good time. I'm trying to. I am in horrible, horrible pain.
Hello and welcome back to the Creation Motivation Podcast. Today we are continuing our reaction of 1,000-Pound Roomies. Such a good show. I really am enjoying it. This is episode 5, and I think there's only 6 episodes in the first season, which is a shame. I know the next season has been announced. I think it's coming out this July, so I'm really hoping for that, and I'm really excited for that because I'm loving this show every step of the way. Now, this episode continues the drama from the last one with Big Bear. There has been this growing tension between Jazz and Nesha ever since she started this journey. And there's been several arguments that have broken out so far, but nothing huge. And this episode continues that, and it is just crazy. So the Big Bear drama continues, and Jazz and Nesha are both angry, both upset, but they both have their own side of the story, and I see both of their point of view because they both have valid points. Nesha planned this whole trip. She set everything up. They probably planned days, weeks, months in advance. Who knows? It's for both their birthday parties. She wants to have fun and do all of these activities. To be fair, she did offer Jazz a chance to sit this one out. She said, I know you're going through all of this. If you want, you can not go, you can stay home and rest because you're going through all of these things. And Jazz, of course, doesn't want to miss out on her birthday celebration. Who would? Who would want to miss out? So she says yes and it goes. But the whole trip, from the car ride to the trip, she is upset. She's frowning in the car. She's not joking. She's practically silent the whole way. When they get there, she refuses to get out of the car. She just kind of sits there and she's in pain. And it makes sense because you're stuck in a car for a long drive at that weight. Even at a normal weight, your legs get cramped. You feel kind of off. But at that weight, I can't imagine what kind of pain she's in. And with arthritis on top of that. But yeah, she was upset and could not get out of the car at first, probably for that reason. She was upset in the cabin. She barely ate dinner, which we'll say is due to the shot. Shot does have some crazy side effects that make you not hungry and not be able to enjoy your food, yada, yada, yada. So I see Nisha's point of view. She was just not participating at all. And in the next morning, they have breakfast, and Nesha can't take it anymore because Jazz won't get out of bed, and she's already complaining, and it's first thing in the morning. So she takes off on this hike with her friends just to blow off steam, which is really a good thing you can do. Really the best thing you can do when you're feeling off, when you're feeling angry, down, sad, depressed. Exercise, walking, getting out in nature. It's a natural feel good. It's a natural way to build endorphins and just release all of that tension that's inside of you. So kudos on her for that. And plus, on top of that, she had her friends with her. Friends are really nice. Artisha, she has the best advice, and she's really sweet. And I really, kudos to her. She's awesome. So they were just telling Nesha, you take it easy, relax, talk it over. Communication, because that's the thing. They don't really have communication. And I don't know if that's because they are with each other on a daily basis and don't need communicate. I'm not sure. Or if they do communicate, when does that happen? Because in this moment, they are not communicating at all. Now, on Jazz's side of the coin, the flip side, she also feels hurt and neglected, but in a different way. She's gone through so much. First of all, she started this weight loss journey. She had her food all changed and taken away. And let's face it, food is something people use to calm their anxieties, to calm their fears, to calm their anger, especially if you have disordered food addiction. It's something you use to relax yourself and get yourself centered, which, like I said earlier, the better thing to do is to get out and walk, get out and exercise. and replace food with something healthier, a healthier outlet. But yeah, Jazz went on this weight loss journey. She started this shot, and the shot is giving her these crazy side effects. She can barely eat. She's in pain a lot of the time. She ended up going to the ER, and in the ER, they told her she had malnutrition as well as arthritis. And I've heard arthritis can be very painful, so I totally understand that. So when she was in the car and wouldn't get out, if it was the arthritis in her knee, I can imagine how painful that would be. And pain is known to aggravate anxiety, and we do know that she has some anxiety issues, so the pain probably set off an anxiety attack. And Nesha, it's not that she had a lack of empathy or didn't care, it's just maybe she isn't quite aware of what kind of pain she's going through or how this is really affecting her life. Because Nesha, she's doing this the all-natural way, and she's still eating normally, and she's still feeling good. So she doesn't know, she doesn't quite understand what Jazz is feeling. So yeah, I see both sides of the story, and I was glad that their friends were there for them, because it probably would have blown up into some crazy arguments if they hadn't been there. Everyone just kind of calmed them down and centered them. Everything was good, and they all just went home. So crisis averted, right? Well, continuing on, they do go back home, and Jazz has her weigh-in.
I came in at 533, which means that I've lost 100 pounds.
Oh, look at it. She has a scheduled weigh-in, and she is down to 533 pounds, which, congratulations, she's down almost 100 pounds. The original weight was 630, and now she's at 533. So that's got to feel amazing. That's got to feel great for her. Kudos on her. Congratulations. But after this, she tells everyone she has a huge announcement, and she needs to let everyone know, and Nesha's sitting right there.
But I got a surprise. Nesha doesn't even know about it. I'm pregnant. Girl. No, seriously. I decided to stop taking a shot. Period. I was in pain. I was miserable. I feel like I'm gonna be sick.
And she ain't gonna have no attitude. And she says, guess what? I'm pregnant. Oh my gosh, my jaw almost hit the floor. I just was not expecting that. However, she was a jokester. She was joking. The real announcement was that she is quitting the shot. Hallelujah. That shot has been giving her such trouble, such side effects. You should do what works for you. You know, the shot works for some people, and others it affects them negatively. So I was glad she decided to do this for her health, because she said she's tired of arguing with Nesha. She's tired of being in a bad mood all the time. She's tired of feeling sick. I get it. On the other hand, though, I am a little worried about the timing, because she does mention that she has her next weigh-in at the doctor's office, and it's the big weigh-in where they decide if she's going to have the surgery or not. So this timing seems a bit off, that she struggled with this shot all this time. Only in the last stretch, the final couple weeks or so, she decides to stop completely. And when you stop, you get your appetite back. And in the very next scene, that's exactly what happens. Jazz does start to get her appetite back, and she actually orders a cheat meal for herself and Nesha, which I think is crazy. It's a little hypocritical, just because in previous episodes, Nesha has tried doing this as well. She'll cook for her, or she'll order something for her, and Jazz will get very, very upset and very angry and say, how could you do this? You're sabotaging me. I'm trying to lose weight, yada, yada, yada. And now Jazz turns around and does this, which Nesha is fine with, because, you know, she's getting her old friend back. However, when they're eating, Jazz makes Nesha get up several times to get a drink for her, to get a napkin for her, to get things for her. And Nisha's irritated by that too, because she thought once she's off the shot, things are going to go back to normal. She's going to get her independence. She's going to continue losing weight and getting better. But that's just not the case, especially having arthritis. It's going to be really hard for her to move that much with her joints the way they are, especially at this weight. The best thing Jazz needs to do is continue losing weight, because it's going to take all of that weight off her joints. Hopefully her doctor gives her some medicine for the arthritis, some kind of long-term care. But at the same time, she shouldn't rely on just that. She's got to get the weight off and really give herself the best outlook on life, especially for her daughter. So yeah, I see Nesha's worried about that too. So after this, Nesha goes to her mother's house. This is Nesha's income. She goes and works for her mother's daycare. And her mother sits her down and gives her the big news that unfortunately she's going to be retiring.
At my size, it's like, what am I supposed to do? What kind of job am I going to get? I can't stand on my feet for long. Like, well, Nisha's like, what am I, many times have I told you, well, I would help you if you wanted to do weight loss. Here we go. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not doing this shot. I'm not doing no surgery. I'm not doing none of that.
And this is another one of those two sides of the same story where I see both sides, but that's based on opinion, right? Well, in this case, I saw both sides again, and her mom does deserve to retire. Her mom does deserve to relax. She can't be supporting Nesha forever. She even says she wants Nesha to come out of her shell, do things for herself. She wants her to be more independent. All of that good stuff. But on the other side, Nesha's afraid because she's at this weight where it makes it very difficult to get any kind of job. And she's wondering what she's going to be able to do, what she's going to be able to find, especially in the interview setting. Because no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone claims, people do judge you on your appearance in interviews. They judge you if you're pregnant. You can bet a lot of the times people are going to just toss your application away. If you're, overweight, just different things. People do judge. Hopefully not all of them. And, there are rules in place that you're not supposed to do this, but a good few of them will judge. So Nesha's just probably thinking all of this and how am I going to get a job? How am I going to support myself? And on top of that, her mother talks about supporting her, but her whole life she's dealt with this whole issue with this cult that her mother was a part of, and that when Nesha left the cult, her mother abandoned her. She stayed with the cult and didn't want anything to do with her. So she's hurt by that. There's a lot of background issues and past issues between them. And of course, they're going to clash in this moment. Nesha's very upset, and I totally understand that. It's abrupt. We don't know how abrupt, if this was within this week or if she had given her heads up months before. We really don't know. So I see both sides. But because of this, Nesha decides to hustle. She says in a later scene that she's going to hustle. She's going to do hair. And her mom did mention that she has a lot of talents. She can do hair. She can bake. She can be a good executive assistant, whatever you want to call it. So Nesha is on it and she's offering her services, and she gets on and bakes a bunch of these cupcakes. Jazz helps her. It's this nice little friendly moment, and it's wonderful. However, towards the end, Jazz makes this little remark that she's going to try out this chair aerobics exercise class. And she just casually mentions it, and Nesha's like, that's cool. And Jazz tells her, well, you're going to go with me, right? Of course, that cannot happen because Nesha's making these cupcakes and she's going to deliver these cupcakes, and that's the number one thing on her mind. And once again, it's another two sides of the story moment where they're both wanting to do something. They're both having these needs, but they're not able to meet them. Nesha has to focus on this work. She has to focus on this baking. Jazz is focused on losing weight and getting to this chair aerobics class and exercising and getting the weight off. And they both want each other to support them in some way, mentally or physically. And Jazz is used to Nesha being a type of caregiver and driving her around. So I get it. However, Jazz has to become more independent. And there's just so much going on in this short little episode that I could talk about it all day. But I'm not, okay? I promise. A big part of the episode, though, that I do want to talk about is the therapy part. Oh my gosh, there was so much in that one little clip, that one little couple of minutes. It was crazy. This therapist, he's a 33-year experienced addiction therapist. And he really, really knows about addiction and the mind and how it affects everything.
Oh, I mean, you have to go through this every day.
Yeah, now.
Wow. I feel so sorry.
Oh,
When is the surgery?
hopefully next month.
I've worked in the field of addiction for 33 years. We all know drugs and alcohol, but food is really a hardcore addiction.
The first time we met him, though, I wasn't really a fan. I was a little offended by him, actually, because Jazz comes in and she obviously is struggling and maybe she needs help. I didn't know if anyone offered help, maybe the camera crew, but no one helps her. She does it by herself. She gets seated and sits down. And the first thing he says is something along the lines of, "Do you do this every day?" And she's like, "Yes." And he says, "Well, I feel sorry." Something like that. "I feel sorry." And it gave the vibes of, "I feel sorry for you," which "I feel sorry for you" seems polite, but a lot of people, if they hear someone say they feel sorry for you, they do get offended. But that's me probably just overthinking. I think he really was just trying to be polite and give his sorrow for her and trying to give some empathy for her and help make her feel comfortable. Something along those lines. But Jazz's face did kind of look a little shocked when he said that. So I don't know if she felt the same thing or not. Anyways, this therapist, he hit the nail on the head. He talked to her a little bit and he realized right away that she has some issues with self-confidence. She has some issues with anxiety and believing in herself and food isolation. At one point, she specifically said, "I'm a loser." And he said, "No, you're not a loser."
I am a loser.
No, you are not a loser. You feel like a loser. You have the power to change the way you think. It's not just about the weight. You put the weight on because of this.
You think you are a loser. You feel like a loser because you think this. You manifest this. You can turn your own life around. And that was some powerful words, because when you think about the difference between confident people and not so confident people, is that they can believe in themselves. They can fake it till they make it. Even if they are feeling unease, they kind of push those feelings to the side and just kind of force themselves to go through the necessary actions to get what they want. So he's basically confirming this with her, that this is not a reality. You're not a loser. You're not a bad person. From people outside looking in at her life, they think she's a good person. I thought she was a good person when I first watched her from the first episode. I thought she was amazing. I thought she was funny. I thought she was great. I thought she was just a wonderful personality.
And just because you lose the weight, you're still going to have your negative thinking about yourself. You're still going to relapse on food and you're going to get heavy again. My feeling is she's an addict, and it's all created by the negative thinking and the low self-esteem. You will find in the addiction field that the addict, they love being alone and sitting in their misery and shame, just like she's doing it.
And she doesn't see this in herself. And man, can that be said about many people. A lot of people, they're great people, but when they look at themselves in the mirror, they think they are nothing. They think they are a failure. And it's not true. It's what you are putting on yourself. And I'm not trying to get into this big rambling argument here, but I just really agreed with what he said. And he also told her, you have a food addiction. And he said food addiction is one of the worst addictions he's ever seen, because unlike other addictions, you can get it anywhere. You can get it wherever, and no one's going to stop you. No one's going to judge you. Maybe a little bit. Okay. Okay. If you're a big person and you go to a buffet, people are going to be watching and judging. Yes. But that's besides the point. You can get food anywhere. It's not like drugs. It's just so much easier. It's so much easier. And your brain, once those addiction pathways are activated, it's extremely hard to break them. Extremely hard. So he just hit the nail on the head, and he recommended that she join some kind of community, some kind of outpatient service maybe. And then that took me back to 1,000-pound sisters. Tammy had to go to outpatient therapy and be around other people like her. but it also reminded me of 1,000-Pound Best Friends. One of the newer seasons, they go to this group setting, and I think it's Overeaters Anonymous. And they talk about food and addictions and all of that stuff. Because this therapist, he says that food addiction relies on isolation. Any addiction, actually, if you think about it. It makes you isolate from the world. You feel ashamed. You hide away in your own little space, far away. You binge eat or you shoot up or whatever the term is for your addiction. You hide away and you just want relief from this pain that you yourself has created. So how do we combat that? So it's not just that you got to get with other people. You could easily join a friend group, right? They have a friend group. They go out to eat. But that's the thing. This friend group does not push for improvement. They just go out and they eat together and that's it. You got to join a community that is working on improving their lives, is working on walking more, is working on exercising more, is working on getting better somehow, some way. So it's just very important. This is something he stressed a lot. So I wanted to share that today. The rest of the episode ends up in this huge dramatic impact. Remember how we talked about this chair aerobics class that Jazz wanted to do? Well, it all came to a head. So the day of came, and if you go back and rewatch, Misha's very specific and tells her she absolutely cannot drive her. But for some reason, Jazz gets in her head that she can.
Eat them up anyway. Y'all just gonna eat the cupcakes up anyway. But don't act like I can do nothing for you. But don't sit here and act like I'm handicapped and need you all the time. Like, don't do that. No, honey.
Who that?
Breeze here.
The breeze hears. I don't know where the miscommunication was there, if they were just busy with the baking and they weren't paying attention. I don't know. But it ended up being this huge, huge argument. They were fighting, they were yelling at each other, and the attitude between them, the sarcasm of Jazz was saying something like, oh, you're just going to go and eat all those cupcakes anyways. You're not actually working. It was just malicious. I know that there was hurt, but to say some of those things to a very good friend it's rough. It's just rough. And anger does make us say things we later regret, right? But luckily their friend shows up right in time. She's helping Nesha with the cupcakes and the delivery. And she manages to stall the argument. It was similar to Big Bear, where the argument just ends and things cool off. They go and deliver the cupcakes. And then Jazz decides to take a ride share since she no longer has a ride, which is like Uber maybe or Lyft. I don't know what, but some kind of ride share to this chair aerobics class. I don't know why Jazz was so upset because it ended up turning out fine for her. Maybe just the fear, the anxiety, the loneliness, maybe hurt because her friend seems like she doesn't care. And also, side note, the therapist did mention she has to confront Nesha about sabotaging. So that's probably come into play here as well, causing this argument. But the chair aerobics class did look fun. It really looked fun. The only thing was she was the youngest person there. It's a senior citizens class, which does feel awkward. Back when I used to go to the gym regularly, I used to go to the water aerobics class because it's so nice on your joints and you don't feel it and you're just moving around and you're not sweating and hot. Not too hot, at least. But I was the youngest person there, and that is a little intimidating. It makes you feel like you're the odd one out. So I totally get her anxiety on that. But the teacher looked phenomenal and wonderful and nice. So I hope she enjoyed it. And it's a way for her to grow because she's getting out and doing things alone and coming out of her shell bit by bit. Right? So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. This was a big one, just chocked full of so many things going on at once. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Try to be positive, believe in yourself. Do one small baby step that'll help you achieve some goal in your life that you want, whether it's losing weight, maintaining weight, or going for a job interview, or doing something for your career. Just make little things happen. Believe in yourself that they can happen. Don't view yourself negatively as a loser because you are manifesting that in yourself and that sticks. So happy goal getting. Have a wonderful day.